Okay, I'll introduce you to a new character. This guy. His name's DJ. His his dad was a cop in town, and he was a cop's kid. He liked partying, he liked drinking, doing drugs, and eventually he got into meth and cocaine, and he got busted, and he got busted with selling meth, stealing cars, and there's one other thing, and check fraud. Yeah, all three charges at the same time, and he became a snitch, and he snitched on so many fucking people that he got his charges dropped, but it was the Aryan Brotherhood, a lot of people. So, like 3 years later, I knew the guy, and he was coming over, and so yeah, I knew he was a snitch. But this is one of them deals where you keep your enemies close, and I'm not really one for dry snitching, but it's crossed my mind because this motherfucker was a bad dude, and he put a lot of people in prison. So if push come to shove, I could snitch on him because it would be the it's what they call dry snitching. But anyways, so I was selling him dope, but he wasn't selling no more because he didn't want to get caught and go to prison again. So he was just buying a little bit at a time, and most of it he'd sit there and smoke it with me, or I'd make him smoke it with me, or in front of me, so I knew he wasn't selling it. So anyways, he had other things that I needed to. He was just a very resourceful guy, so I kept him around. So one day he comes to me and he says, "Hey, can you cash this check?" I said, "What do you mean?" He goes, "Well," I go, "Where'd you get it?" He goes, "Well, I do these surveys online, and for a while there, back in them days, 15 years ago, whatever, there was a lot of surveys you could do online, and they'd give you gift cards, or they'd give you this or that, or it was just kind of goofy. But he would sit around all day, all night, high as fuck, and with nothing to do, so he did these surveys and tried to get all this free shit. But anyways, he says, "Yeah, I got this check online." I go, "Well, how much is it for?" "It was for $500. And I go, "Yeah," and it was a traveler's check. It looked perfect. It looked like a real traveler's check, and I said, "Well, I'll bring it to my bank and see if I can cash it." So I went to the bank, and they looked at it. It took them like 10 or 15 minutes to verify this check, and they gave me the $500. And the deal was he'd get $350, and I'd get $150. And this is when I just got laid off from my job, and I was collecting unemployment, but any extra money would help because I could buy more meth to sell, and hopefully get ahead and provide, I guess. So they cashed it, and I gave him $350, and I had $150. So then a couple hours later, he comes by and he says, "Hey, can you cash another one?" I said, "Well, I belong I go to the same bank, but a different bank. The same bank had like 4 different banks in town." So I said, "Yeah, I'll see what I can do," and I drove to the bank, and I signed it, and it took another 20 minutes, and sure enough, they did verify that, and they gave me $500. I gave them $350. I kept $150, so now I had $300, and so I went and bought a few things, some groceries or something. I don't know. I spent like $80 or something. So I had about, all said and done, I had like $180 left. The phone rings, and it's the bank, and the lady says, "Yeah, is this Joe Lovitz?" "Yeah." "No, this is your bank. We need you to come down and bring the money with you because those checks turned out to be fraudulent." And I said, what? Really? Okay, I'll come down. And I went down there, and I walked in, and I talked to the lady. She goes, do you have the money? I said, well, I just got laid off, and I had to pay some bills, but I get my unemployment next week, in 5 days, so I can pay it back then. And next thing you know, I look, and there's a cop coming in, and he looks pissed, so he comes in and he says, why don't you come with me? And I'm like, going, okay. And I'm trying to get this lie in my head, I'm saying, they verified it or whatever. So I go with the policeman, and we go outside, and my car is parked outside, and he says, okay, I gotta pat you down, because we're going for a ride down the station. And I knew I had my one hitter in my pocket, and my one hitter box, and had that in my pocket, and so he finds that, and he goes, put that in your car. I was amazed, like, oh, all right. So I put that in the car, and he goes, okay, let's go down to the station. And we get down there, and I'm telling him that I got it from a guy named DJ. And he's going, well, you got his number or this and that? And I'm like, hey, I didn't know they look like perfect traveler's checks. You got them right there in your hand. They look real. I didn't know. He said he got them online from some survey or something. I said, I didn't know. So he goes, all right, well, we're gonna bring you out to the county jail, and we're gonna book you in, and we're gonna go from there. And that was like 10 miles away. So it's all right. And then he said, then we're gonna give you a ride back, and you'll be okay. But we're gonna charge you with check fraud. It was a gross misdemeanor. I remember that. So we go out there, and he's in this room behind this holding cell, and this other this jailer comes in, and she's frisking me, and she's taking me out of my pockets and setting them down. And I look, and there's this little white container with a blue top, and it's where I had my meth in it. And she goes, he goes to her, hey, bring that over here. So she hands it to him, and he looks at it and goes, what's this? I go, it's just it's a container where I put my weed in there. And he's like, why is there white crystals? I go, I don't know, weed has crystals. I said, I don't know. So he gave it back. And I'm like, all right. So then he charges me with it, and I go, okay, you're gonna give me a ride back? And he goes, no, something came up, I'm going the other way. So I had to call somebody for a ride, which is not a problem because I'm the dealer. So I just make a call, and sure shit, someone comes get me. I could have had 10 people there if I wanted. But so he picks me up, and I remember because it was on like Labor Day. It was right on Labor Day, I think. Yeah. Anyways, so I go home, and so now I got this charge. I got to get a lawyer, and the lawyer cost me $2,000. I went in there, and the lawyer's like, well, yeah, they're just gonna charge you with a felony. You'll have to pay all this back. I go, whoa, wait a minute. I said, I'm not getting a felony for this. I didn't know that it was a fraudulent check. They okayed it. They verified them both. So I'm not getting a felony, And good thing I didn't, or else when I got raided this last time, I would have been in prison. But anyways, so I get a lawyer. It cost me a couple grand, and I think it was $1,500. I'm not sure, but he said, okay, the felony is gonna go away, but they said, in order to make this go away, you got to pay the $500, the $1,000 within a year, because they knew I just got laid off. I got to provide for my family. So they said, you just give them $100 every month and you'll be fine. Okay, so I made sure all that was done. $100, and the felony disappeared. It was off my record. Everything was good, but so this whole deal where I thought I was getting $300 turned into, I lost, I don't know how much, 1,000, 1,200, whatever, 2,000. So yeah, that was a bummer, and my wife was fucking pissed, and there goes my tax return. I was getting $2,000 back or something, and that was gone, and my wife is so pissed because she really needed that money. We needed that money. So, and then as far as DJ goes, I said, hey DJ, you gotta pay me some money, man. I covered for you. You didn't get in any trouble and this and that, and he never gave me a fucking cent. But like I said, I kept him close because he was a very resourceful guy, right? So one day I stop at his house, and he says, "Come on in," and I go in there, and he's got these boxes. He's got boxes full of shit. I go, what do you all got here? And he's like, "Oh, I was doing something online, and I had all these jackets sent to me. They were Columbia jackets, women's Columbia jackets, and hoodies, and fancy sweatshirt. I think he said it was for Cabela's or something." And he goes, "Well, where do you think I can sell them?" I told him, "I can sell them." I said, "I can get rid of all these. It's tax time. I can, yeah, how much is this one worth? This is worth 500? He goes, "Yeah." He goes, "I was pricing. This is 500, this one's 300, 400. I said, "I can get you at least 70 cents on the dollar." He goes, you can?" I said, "Yeah, it's tax time. I know all kinds of people, Because he wasn't dealing anymore. He wasn't snitching anymore. So I was the guy. I had all the customers. I could sell them all." He goes, "All right." I go, "Well, load them up. I'll take them all. I'll bring you back. Bring you back the money, what, tomorrow? Or tonight even." I said, "I'll get rid of these so fast." And he goes, "All right, cool. He's all excited. And he still owes me a shitload of money, right? So I load him in my car. I bring him home. I walk in the house. And I just bring in these boxes in. And now, remember, I've got a wife and 3 daughters. And I walked in, and Lisa goes, "What do you got there?" I said, "What do you think I got? I got jackets for everybody and hoodies and everything. And all my daughters and my wife, they're trying them on. They fit them all perfect." They're like, "All right." And they go, where'd you get them?" And I said, "Take a guess." She goes, "Who?" I said, "From DJ." She goes, "All right, free jackets." So then DJ calls me up and goes, "Hey, so how you doing on them jackets?" And I said, "Well, I brought them home. I showed them to my wife and my kids, and Lisa asked where I got them from, and I said I got them from DJ, and he knew where I was going with this." He goes, "Oh, fuck!" He knew, and I said, "Sorry, man, I couldn't sell them, but my wife says you owe me money." So that was the end of them jackets, and I suppose that would be called the jacket story. But yeah, DJ, in fact, DJ right now is in jail. He's in jail for a domestic, and he's been there for 2 months. He's still at it. He's been out there doing meth for at least 30 years, I think. But they finally caught up with him. Oh yeah, and he had a weapon. So I don't know how that's going to play into it, but yeah, he's not doing good. But I know he doesn't have a YouTube channel. But yeah, so that's old DJ. And the thing about him is his dad, the cop, passed away like 5 years ago, and his dad was very frugal and had lots of money when he died. And DJ's brother, who isn't on drugs, is in charge of the estate, and DJ's got a pile of money waiting for him if he can just quit using meth. But he never will. And he hasn't talked to his brother in 3 years or something. And yeah, some people would rather do meth than to straighten up and get a big pile of money, I guess. But so yeah, that's a story of DJ and the Coats. We'll talk to y'all later. Leave a like, subscribe, share, comment, and we will talk to you next time.